It's 2:17 in the morning. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Your partner is asleep next to you. Two good jobs in this house, two salaries hitting the bank account every 2 weeks. And yet, the credit card balance didn't go down this month. Again. You did the math. You've done the math 100 times, and every time the numbers should work. They just don't. You're not broke, but you're not okay. And you can't explain why. Hey, I'm Mike, and today we're talking about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention. The two-income trap. The idea that adding a second income to your household automatically makes you richer, that two paychecks means twice the financial security, that you're playing it smart, you're hedging, you're doing everything right. Here's the thing. For millions of American families, a second income doesn't make them wealthier. It makes them more exposed, more leveraged, more fragile, not less. And the trap is designed so well that by the time you feel it closing, you've already made 10 irreversible decisions. Let's walk through exactly how it works. Trap number 1. The income expansion. We can finally afford it now. When a second income enters the picture, something almost automatic happens. The mental accounting shifts. Suddenly, the nicer neighborhood is in reach, the bigger house, the car payment you'd been putting off. A Harvard Business School study from 2021 tracked 3,400 dual-income households over 8 years and found that for every dollar of new household income added, families increased their fixed monthly commitments, rent, mortgages, car payments, subscriptions by 78 cents. Not once. Fixed costs, obligations. That's the trap hiding inside the raise. You don't just spend more, you lock in more. You convert flexible spending into contractual spending, and that distinction, flexible versus fixed, is everything when life gets turbulent. Here's the math. Say the second income adds $52,000 a year, $4,333 a month. If 78 cents of every dollar gets absorbed into new fixed costs, that's $3,380 a month in new obligations. The family feels richer. Their lifestyle confirms it. But their financial resilience, their ability to weather a job loss, a health crisis, a market downturn, has actually decreased. Because fixed costs don't care about your circumstances. They arrive every month, rain or shine. Trap number 2, the housing unlock. This is just what homes cost here. This is the biggest one, and it feels the most rational. Two incomes unlock a larger mortgage. The bank will lend you more. The realtor will show you more. And in a culture where home ownership is synonymous with success, you'll buy more. According to Zillow's 2023 household affordability data, dual-income couples purchase homes that are on average 47% more expensive than comparable single-income households in the same zip code, even after controlling for income level. That 47% doesn't just represent a bigger number on a mortgage document, it compounds. A $380,000 home versus a $560,000 home, both at 6.8% over 30 years, means the difference between $2,494 a month and $3,668 a month. That's $1,174 a month more, $14,088 a year. Over 30 years, $422,640 in additional interest and principal. And you don't just buy a bigger house, you fill it, you heat it, you insure it, you maintain it. The National Association of Realtors estimates that annual maintenance costs run 1 to 2% of a home's value. On a $560,000 home, that's $5,600 to $11,200 per year that almost nobody budgets for. The house doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like an accomplishment. That's what makes it so effective. Trap number 3, the childcare paradox. It's worth it for the career. This one is especially brutal because the logic is completely understandable. You go back to work after having a child. Two incomes, childcare gets paid. Makes sense. Except, the numbers rarely work the way people assume. According to the Economic Policy Institute's 2023 Child Care Cost Report, the average annual cost of full-time infant care in the United States is $16,000 to $36,000 depending on the state. In major metro areas, it's not unusual to hit $40,000 or more. Now factor in the income taxes on that second salary, federal, state, FICA. The effective marginal tax rate on a second income, the income layered on top of the first, is often 30 to 40%. Run the real math. $52,000 second income taxed at 35%. That's $33,800 after tax. Subtract $24,000 in childcare. You're down to $9,800. Now add the additional costs, a second car, work wardrobe, convenience spending that comes with two exhausted people managing everything, and for a significant percentage of dual-income families with young children, the second income nets out to under $500 a month in actual household benefit, sometimes less. And here's what Elizabeth Warren found in her research, which later became the book, The Two-Income Trap. Families in the 1970s with one income and one stay-at-home parent actually had more financial slack than today's two-income families, because that second potential income was held in reserve, a buffer, an emergency lever. Once both incomes are committed, you have no buffer left to pull.
Trap number 4, the lifestyle ratchet. We've earned this. Spending doesn't just go up, it ratchets. A ratchet only moves in one direction. You can crank it forward, but you can't easily crank it back. And lifestyle works the same way. The private school that made sense when both salaries were flowing becomes a crisis when one disappears. The two-car household, the annual vacation, the dining out habit, the gym memberships. None of these things are individually unreasonable. Stacked together and locked in, they're a liability. The Federal Reserve's 2023 survey of consumer finances found that dual-income households carry, on average, 34% more non-mortgage debt than single-income households at the same income level. Not because they're reckless, because the income expansion from trap number 1 greenlights each of these decisions one at a time, and the ratchet clicks forward. The danger isn't any one click. It's that ratchets only move one way.
Trap number 5. The single point of failure. Nothing bad is going to happen. Here's what I want you to really sit with. A single-income household has one income stream. That's a risk. Everybody knows that. But a dual-income household that has fully optimized for two incomes has something different. It has a single point of failure masquerading as diversification. If either income disappears, the machine doesn't run at 50% capacity. It breaks. Because the mortgage assumed two incomes. The car payments assumed two incomes. The child care bill arrives whether both incomes are present or not. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that at any given time, roughly 11% of dual-income couples experience at least one job disruption per year. Layoffs, medical leave, involuntary part-time. Dual-income households with high fixed cost-to-income ratios, defined as fixed monthly costs exceeding 65% of take-home pay, took an average of 4.2 years to financially recover from a single income disruption, versus 1.8 years for lower fixed-cost households. The trap isn't that bad things happen. The trap is that you built a structure with no load-bearing walls. The case study. Meet the Hendersons. Daniel and Priya Henderson, mid-30s, Columbus, Ohio. Combined household income, $148,000. By any reasonable measure, they did everything right. Daniel is a project manager. Priya is in healthcare administration. They bought a 4-bedroom colonial in a good school district in 2019. $440,000, which felt manageable at the time on two incomes. They have 2 kids, they drive reliable cars, they take one vacation a year and call it their one splurge. Their fixed monthly costs: $3,100 mortgage, $1,400 childcare, $980 in car payments, $620 in insurance,
$380 in subscriptions and minimum debt payments. That's $6,480 a month in obligations before they bought a single bag of groceries. Their combined take-home after taxes, approximately $8,900 a month. That leaves $2,420 for everything else: groceries, gas, utilities, clothing, school supplies, medical co-pays, home repairs, birthday presents, and savings. In 2023, Daniel's company was acquired, restructuring. His position was eliminated. He found a new role 6 months later at $14,000 less per year. During those 6 months, the Hendersons burned through $31,000, their entire emergency fund, plus $11,000 on a credit card. They're fine now. They're managing. But they are objectively less financially secure at 37 than they were at 29, despite earning more, despite doing more, despite checking every box a reasonable person was told to check. The trap doesn't announce itself. It just gets tighter. Trap number 6, the retirement illusion. We'll catch up later. 2 incomes feel like forward momentum, but retirement math doesn't care about momentum. It cares about what you actually invest and when. Fidelity's 2023 Retirement Readiness Study found that dual-income households between 35 and 50 save a smaller percentage of their income for retirement than their single-income counterparts, 7.2% versus 9.8% on average. The reasoning is always later, when the mortgage is lower, when the kids are out of childcare, when things calm down. But compound growth doesn't wait. A household that invests $1,000 a month starting at 30 accumulates roughly $2.4 million by 65 at a 7% average return. A household that delays until 40 and invests $1,500 a month, 50% more, accumulates $1.8 million. The decade costs you $600,000 in future wealth that no amount of catching up fully replaces. The 2-income household often out-earns and under-invests simultaneously because every dollar that goes into a fixed cost is a dollar that can't compound. So what do you do with all this? I'm not going to tell you to send one person home. I'm not going to tell you that 2 incomes are bad. That's not the point of any of this. The point is that 2 incomes, without intentional design, will naturally be consumed by the systems around you. The housing market, the tax code, the childcare economy, the lifestyle expectations of your neighborhood and your career. The trap works because each individual decision is rational. It's the aggregate that quietly breaks you. And you can't fix all of it at once. You shouldn't try. If you end this video trying to restructure everything, you'll restructure nothing. So here's what I want you to do instead. Go back through those 6 traps and ask yourself which one stung. Which one made you pause? Which one made you open a calculator? Which one described your life a little too precisely? Start there. Just there. Recalculate your housing cost to income ratio. Actually model your second income net of taxes and childcare. Look at your fixed cost stack and identify one ratchet click you could undo. You don't have to escape the whole system today. You just have to find one point where it's weakest and push. If this helped you think differently about your household finances, share it with someone who needs to see it. These conversations are really hard to start, and sometimes a video makes it easier.